Shalom. Shalom, Yashrala. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praise, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachach Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching 100% truth. Wa Barakatham to the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. May peace and blessings be unto your household. All right, and it's your brother Gadal from the Great Millstone Dallas branch. And in this quick lesson, right, we're just going to get into, pretty much just going to go into the, the mark of the beast, man. Something that we can always pretty much go into because we always have new listeners. And lately, I've been noticing for our camp in GMS Dallas, we've been having a lot of people like come up and they do not know what the MOTB is, right? They might have heard of it. They might have heard of the saying like, oh, the mark of the beast. Hell, they might have heard, just simply the chip, but not understand that is the mark of the beast, right? And this is for, new listeners, of course. For y'all that already know, you can still get some edification, of course. There's nothing wrong. But it's mainly for new listeners, because, the mark, the MOTB is very, very, very important. This is one of the only sins other than blaspheming against the Holy Spirit, which is something that Esau did. We can't do that. Can't do that. But this is one of the only sins, right, that you cannot be forgiven of if you do this. So this is a highly, highly, highly important that you know and understand what the MOTB is, because this, if you take this, man, you are on the radar for the Lord's indignation. Right? Because I remember we had a Jake come up like a couple of weeks ago, Friday, a couple of Fridays ago. And bro, like, man, you could tell he just didn't know, right? Like we showed him like the MOTB, said, would you take this to save your family? And what he said was, it was like, dang, man, it was like a completely... You could tell, obviously you could tell that like he had no knowledge of this. He just like, he was doing what any man would do for his family that don't know about this, right? Because this is what he said. He pretty much said that the MOTB, as far as the MOB, he said he'll take the chip, like he'll like do anything to pretty much save his family and all that. And he said he think the Lord will see that as noble, right? That he basically took the chip. And I was like, dang, man, it's like, I couldn't get mad at him because he didn't, we couldn't get mad at him because he didn't know. Like he said that not knowing what's the judgment for taking the MOTB. That's why it's so important. That's why it's so important that we teach what the MOTB is. What is the mark of the beast? What happens if you take the mark of the beast? What are the consequences? Right? So you can be fully aware. So when the time comes, when the MOTB present itself, right, there's going to be no excuses. So if you end up taking it, because you didn't have enough faith in the Lord, then that's on you. Because there's a lot of people that just don't know, and it's just crazy. I'm like, dang, man, I would think everybody know at least what it is, but a lot of people don't even know what it is, right? Let alone know that it's the mark, the MOTB, right? Which is the RFID microchip. Which is something that is going to be made mandatory eventually throughout this whole world, pretty much, man. Right? It's going to be made mandatory. Right? The digital all. Right? And that right there is the MOTB. Right? But I'm going to go ahead and get this Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, and the mark right here, the word mark, because we go into words, is charagma, right? Charagma, which is a stamp, an imprinted mark. And if you go into you can also go into the root word, which is charax, right? Where is it at? A pale, a stake, right? Stake, which is some to make it simple terms, if you ever watch some vampire movies, they got that little wooden stake right? That's what it is. That's what it is. That little wooden stake that it's really made for being put in the ground. But if, just to make it simple, for people that have watched vampire movies where you gotta have a stake to right, to pretty much stab it into the vampire. But the Charagma, right? I'm gonna get it. It says I'm gonna go back to where Charagma is. It's a Strong's G 5480. It says, and this is the definition I'm reading. It says, of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand, as the badge of the followers of Antichrist, right? Anti-Hamashiach, meaning if you hate the Lord, right? If you don't want anything to do with the Lord, man, you're going to take this mark. Period, man. And if you take this mark, guess what? You are considered Antichrist. In other words, you are an enemy of the Lord. And you know what the Lord does to his enemies? He destroys them. You don't want to be an enemy of the Lord, of a power that controls good and evil. You don't want to be an enemy of that, right? So let me reread this. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. It says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or foreheads. That's everybody. And it's in the MOTB is already out now. The RFID microchip is already out now. It's just not mandated yet. There's gonna come a time when it will be mandated. They'll use it for the purpose of tracking, right? The new way of living, pretty much. Matter of fact, it's gonna explain that in the next verse. It says, and then verse 17, it says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of. It's like, I got a phone call. But yeah, the name of the that no man might buy or sell. So there's gonna come a time to where you're not gonna be able to buy or sell unless you have this RFID microchip, right? Fuck, if they give me. The RFID microchip, the MOTB, the mark of the beast, right? And the beast, man, that's going into what the NATO and EU, which is what NATO, National Atlantic Treaty Organization, EU, European Union, right? And that's what the 10 whores are going to in Revelations, I think 17. Yeah, it's one in 17 and 16, if I'm not mistaken. How the beast's gonna hate the whore, right? Because that's gonna come a time. But yeah, man, 10 horns, NATO and EU, man, right? And really, Salaki, I'm tripping. Oh man, I said that completely wrong. That's the 10. That is the 10 horn ports are right, but the beast, my bad. The beast is the revival of this Roman Empire, man. In other words, the system, right? Because the system is just a revival of ancient Rome. That's all it is, man. Right? You can tell by the way they run things, the way they pattern things, even within war tactics, right? So the beast is going into this system. All right, Salaki, I misspoke on that, right? But NATO and EU is a part of it. Don't get me wrong, but it's really ultimately just this system, right? The revival of the Romanian Empire, which is what we're living in today, right? So there's the mark of the beast, right? The mark of the beast is what? The MOTB, the RFID microchip, which is what they're going to use to make it to where you're going to be able to function in society, or you're not going to be able to function in this society, right? So, and with that being said, if you take this, there's consequences. I'm going to go ahead and get this Revelation chapter 14 verse 10. It says the same, verse 9. Revelation chapter 14 verse 9. And the title of it says, Doom for Worshippers of the Beast. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, nuclear missiles. Go read Joel the 3rd chapter, 2nd and 3rd chapter. And brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So in other words, the Lord's not fucking with that, man. He's not messing with anybody that takes the MOTB, right? The mark of the beast. Because when you take that, man, you're being marked for what? Judgment. Right? You're being marked for judgment from Yahweh Bashem Shai. You are now considered an enemy of God. You take the MOTB, you chose that Esau, Edom, which is nowadays so-called the white man when he's really the red man, right? If you take that, you chose him as your God. Simple as that. They did that back then in Rome. It's just the way that they did it with tattoos instead, right? I think one of them they will actually tattoo on the forehead on some of their like slaves, fugitive. That's just one of them though. You know, it's many more, but like that's just one of them. They'll tattoo fugitive on their head to let you know that they own them. They're owned, right? Or that's just, like I said, that's just one of them. They got other ways of putting their brand on them, which is what they're trying to do today. It's in the form of technology now. You put technology into you to show that, oh yeah, I own you. Simple as that. And you don't want to be, let's be honest, you don't want to be considered an enemy of the power of the whole universe. Let's be honest. Do you truly want to be an enemy of that? You want to be an enemy that controls your God, is above your God, which is Esau Edom will be. Because that's what you're doing. You're choosing, you're ultimately choosing to serve the white man or serve the Lord. You serve the white man, you take the MOTB, he screw your ass over and you still die. Right? Because this is the base of all man, aka the borderline of wickedness, Malachi 1:4, that we talking about. All right, the most wicked of the wicked. Like, bro, you'll take it and you might mess around still not get no benefits or nothing. But you got it though. Actually, we met probably about a month ago now. Month or two. Yeah, a month and some change ago. When me and the brothers went out on Wednesday on Dallas in this camp, we met a ex-military person and he's homeless and he got the MOTB. Why the hell is he homeless and he got the MOTB? You dealing with the devil, man. You dealing with the devil, which just means deceiver. Right? So you're homeless and you got the MOTB? Bro, that's the type of man you're dealing with. You take it and you think you're doing something for your family just to get screwed over. If he did it to the military people, how much more you people and you're not even fighting for the country? Like, come on, man. He treat the men that fight for his countries the worst. Why is there anybody that's coming from the army homeless or military homeless? Why is that even a thing? Why do they gotta come back to work a normal job after fighting for the country? And Lord, he's not pleased with that. But like I said, this is the devil we are dealing with. Right? He's wicked. What you expect? Shall we pit a charmer that's bitten by a serpent? Like, bro, like we can't feel bad, really, because like you get warned that he's the devil, right? He broken over 200 treaties. Like, come on, bro. What more proof in the pudding that you need that? Like, bro, don't trust this fool, man. Simple as that. You know, just look at his track record. It shows that he can't be trusted, man. If you look at his track record, let alone you want to put an MOTB. Oh, yeah, because you ain't got the faith. You're fulfilling Isaiah 31:1. Right? You're the one of the ones that's going down to Egypt for help. Right? You're one of the ones that's trusting into the God of this world to help you. Man, but don't trust in Yahweh Bashem Shai, man. It's okay, though. It's okay. But you can't say you ain't been warned. Do not take the MOTB unless you want that smoke from the Lord. Simple as that. It's not like, oh, I'm a good, or I take it, then I can take it out. No. There ain't none of that, man. The Lord he's not on no kind. You can't outplay the Lord, man. If you try to get over the Lord, you lose automatically. Like, the Lord knows. I mean, he created you. He knows. Make it make sense, Sway. Make it make sense. And as far as the forehead, that's going that could go into, you know, what Elon Musk got going on, you know, the Nero to the link, right? To you know, allow the paraplegic people that can't walk start walking and stuff. They can't play the game. Now they can play the game with their mind. They got aimbot on Call of Duty now, so they're cheating, but they're not. You know, don't take that shit either, man. Don't take that Nero to the link, right? Yeah, but that's really more so aimed at the paraplegic. So, like, people that, you know, that can't walk or even, like, you know, can't see. There's gonna be miracles produced within that. But that chip, that's something that's like, bro, hey, it's gonna be more people taking that than the Nero to the link. Or, you know, just speaking as a man, you know, I could be completely wrong on that. You know? So don't take it, man, unless you want to be marked for judgment. Think of that chip as a mark, as you're being marked for judgment. Oh, okay, there goes someone else marked for judgment. There goes somebody else marked for judgment. Because anyone that's not a follower of Yahweh Shem Shai, even if they show some resistance at first, they're going to end up taking it eventually because they ain't got the faith. That's why. But anyways, you know, Lord willing, y'all was edified. I want to end it out by saying, Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And until next time I say, Shalom, Yeshua.